Hey good people, welcome back to Beauty and the Frizz. My name is Kara. I just want to say thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me for another day of Frizzmas. We're getting to the point of the year where I am going to be thinking about what were the best makeup launches this year. And there are some that I know for sure are gonna go on my list, but there's one palette I have not used in a while, but I think it could be a contender for my list. And you clicked on the video. It is the Club Nebula palette, which was the collab between Angelica and Kaleidos. I'm just gonna play around with it a little bit today and create a look and see if I still feel the same about it as I did when I first purchased it. So if you wanna get some look inspo, if you haven't pulled this one out in a while, you'll love this video. So definitely let me know what you think. And if makeup is your therapy, if it's your art and your love, and you wanna connect with other makeup enthusiasts like me, I'm not trying to get you in trouble though. Definitely consider joining the community because I'd love to have you back. All right, let's get started. So this palette was one of the earlier launches this year, and it came in this beautiful packaging, beautiful, it's not a box, but it's, you know, Kaleidos palettes are kind of thick. I think that if you watch Angelica, did I say Angela in the intro? I hope I didn't. But if you watch Angelica, you know that these are her types of colors. She absolutely loves colors and she creates beautiful, beautiful eye looks. So we're just gonna go ahead and play. You know, Kaleidos is such a special brand and I feel like they go all out when it comes to the design, the inspo, the packaging, the teasers. And I really, really love that about the brand. They're so futuristic. And I just think that's something nice to see. You can just see that creativity in every launch that they have. Even like the lip clays that came out this year. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't a palette, but I just loved that launch and I love those lip clays too. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this look. Hey you guys, so I am interjecting into my own video. I actually have on the same outfit, and this is about a week later after recording the look that I was getting ready to show you with the Club Nebula palette. And I'll cut to some footage, but I realized that as I was creating the look, that I was literally creating the same look that I created when I did my review. And it wasn't on purpose, I just was going for shades that I felt like really stood out in the palette. And I truly think the colors in this palette are really, really unique. But instead of going blue-green with the Melanie shade, as you'll see on the footage, I want to go more purple with this vibe. So that's the look I'm gonna go with today. I swear this is the look I did, I swear. I'm gonna have to try to find some pictures and see if this is the same look. I swear it is, but I'm gonna try to change it up a little bit. I just felt like I was cheating a bit and I could always link the old video, you know? So I'll do that, but I wanted to create something that I hadn't created before, and I thought it was kind of funny that I created the same look. It wasn't on purpose, but I actually like the original look better than this new one. So let's get into a new look with Club Nebula. Now today, I think would be great to start testing out my new set of brushes by Blends Bunnies Cosmetics. I just received these last week and I definitely want to try them out before I give my opinion on them. So I'm gonna try to do this quick, y'all, because y'all know I gotta go to work. I'm gonna start with this shade Naru, which is kind of this cool toned beige type color, or maybe taupe. And I'm using the Blends Bunny B5, which is a great brush to go ahead and start your transitions with. So I'm gonna start that on the outer corner and just work it in to try to create the outline for the eye shape that I'd like. And I feel like that is a pretty good base right here for the rest of the look. Now I'm gonna go into the shade Rock Hopper, which is, it's like a purple, but it's like an ashy purple. I know I don't always have the color descriptions, but it just reminds me of like an ashy, cool purple. And I'm just gonna start to deepen up this look by going into the crease area, and I'm gonna try not to go too far over because that's something I'm working on. I may have said it, or it might be in a future video, but you know, looking back and looking at my eyeshadow looks lately, I don't know, I haven't been liking them as much. So I think part of it is like, I like the color to kind of come down, like the shadow. So I don't like it to go too far over because I want it to be more like maybe cat eye, maybe. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I'm really working on that with the blending. Sometimes I think I'm rushing and not taking my time. I really do like how this looks though. And so far, this B5 brush is really nice. It seems to be good for the transition shade as well as the crease. So more than one use with this one. I'm just trying to make sure that I can see both colors. Okay. I'm gonna switch brushes, and I could continue to use that same brush actually, but I am going to now use the B1 brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Cylon. It is this more plum. I'm gonna put that in the outer corner area here, and just a little bit into the crease, and I will probably put a little bit of this into the lower lash line. I'm bringing it over a little bit. Eventually the shimmer is going to cover this up a little bit. And for eyeshadow primer, I did use the Glamlite Icing Primer in the shade Buttercream. So I did use that. And I find with that primer, in case you were wondering, it is thick. It almost reminds me maybe a little bit like the P. Louise base. And I think I may have been using too much primer, especially in the summertime. I felt like my eye looks were melting away a little bit. And I think it's because it is a thicker primer. It's not like the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I am going to switch brushes and I'm gonna go into this kind of bigger pencil brush. This is the B3 with the same shade to put on the lower lash line. So yeah, y'all, I think that with those types of primers, I think I just needed a thin layer. I think I was definitely using too much. The weather has changed, so I don't know, because I go outside for recess with my students. So that's when I noticed, you know, an issue being outside. So I don't know, you know, how it truly performs in heat, but at least for this, you know, fall weather, I haven't been having any issues. So maybe it's a primer that I may need to use in the cooler months, maybe. So yeah, I won't be able to give you any update on that anytime soon. So I'm just gonna do that. And here's what we have so far, and I really like this. I also want to go back to my B1 brush, and I want to go into the shade Red Giant. I want to just dab a little bit of that into the outer corner as well. I'm just going to add just another little level to the color in this look. And I'm not really even blending it too much. I'm just sitting it on top. And I think you can see just that red right there. Going into You're My Only Hope, which is this beautiful, it's like a pastel purpley shimmer. And I'm just gonna go into it with my finger, and I'm gonna start by tapping it here onto the first kind of half of the lid. Same thing on the other side. And I love that these shimmers can stand alone and they can also make great topper shades. And just to blend out the line, I'm just actually going over it with whatever's left on my brush, which is the Red Giant shade. Definitely covered that up a bit much. I'm just trying to blend out how the shimmer goes into the matte. That's all. So now you can see there's just a nice little fade, I feel like, into the matte. Let's go back into Rock Hopper, which is this one right here, and just finish the lower lash line. That's a little lighter than, well, I wouldn't say it's lighter. It's a different tone than Cylon, but I can't really see it. It merges right in. Like, I can't really see the difference, so. And now we just need the inner corner highlight, and I think I would like to go into the shade Firefly, which is that pastel green shimmer. And for that, I'm gonna go into something smaller, so I'm not gonna use one of those Blend Bunny brushes. I'm just gonna use another pencil brush, and I'm gonna just tap it off. I probably should wet this one. I just don't have anything right here. I'm just trying to keep it simple. And it's simple, but it's not, you know what I mean? And just making sure that it meets the top. There's the look. Just gonna go back with Rock Hopper because I don't want, there we go. I don't want too much of the shimmer underneath. You can still see it a little bit, but that's not really a big deal. Okay, it actually kind of created like a new color right there, which is fine. All right, so here is a nice, beautiful, fresh look. I really felt like, let me just get my liner real quick. I'll get my mascara too, since, you know, it's all right here. I think I'm gonna go with this Charlotte Tilbury Mesmerizing Maroon liner I just got. It's like a matte plum. And then for lashes, I'm gonna go into this Act Natural mascara by ColourPop, which is a brown, very natural mascara. But yeah, y'all, I feel like nobody would have really minded, but I know what I created before, and you may not have even been subscribed or watched it, or you missed that one, so you wouldn't have known, but I know. And I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's trying to see no old look. And I'm not saying y'all watch me like that or you would remember like, oh, she did that look before, but no, I wanted something fresh. And so while I'm talking about it, because I was thinking about leaving my old footage in with my final thoughts, but let me just give them to you right now while I'm doing this. I was right, like my gut instinct was right. And I honestly, this is probably my favorite look that I've created with this palette. I love the versatility that this palette offers. There are just so many ways that you can go with the palette. You can do more of a one-tone type look. Like I tried to keep this with a purpley type vibe. You could go very colorful, tropical, you know what I mean? I'm just thinking about people who I know do like the cut crease looks and all that. Like you could really go a lot of ways in this palette or with this palette. I'm gonna try to line my top, but it's hard to do on camera. And I am very appreciative of how Angelica chose her colors. This palette, I feel like, is really representative of her. And for somebody like me who is whose eyeshadow taste is starting to change, like, cause honestly, that look that I created in the video, I looked at it later and I was like, I don't like this anymore. That's how I really felt. I was like, This is too much, the look I did last week. Not that it was too much, but I didn't like how I did it. I didn't like the blend. I didn't like how the color faded. I felt like it came up too high. It just wasn't what I'm into as much anymore. And I think I'm just kind of evolving a little bit. I just love the shape of this eye look. I'm really trying to focus on my technique. Y'all know I started doing eyeshadow from watching YouTube, so it's like it's always something that I am continuing to try to improve. But I think this is the best look I've ever created with this palette. I will say this is a contender for one of the best this year. It's unique. Kaleidos always goes above and beyond with the style and the packaging and all of that. And I feel like it does represent the collab. Like it represents Angelica and the type of looks that she likes to create. She does really beautiful, vibrant, colorful looks. You know, there's a little grunge to the palette, which is something that, you know, I definitely enjoy. And I just love all the different ways that you can use the colors. And the colors are unique. These types of purples and blues, I don't think I have in any other palette. I would really have to look, but I don't. The shades I used today, the Red Giant, the Rock Copper, the Cylon, those 3 shades, and Naru, I don't have those shades anywhere else that I can think of. This is definitely a unique palette to my collection, and I think it was really, really well done. So those are kind of my final thoughts on the palette. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I do have a little bit of time before I come up with my 5 favorite releases of this year. It's actually going to be a collab with Dr. Ash from Dr. Ash and Her Makeup. We're doing 5 disappointing and the 5 best. So it is important to go back and revisit your collection. Just, you know, so I want to make an accurate decision, you know, and it's been some time since I've used this palette. So here is the final look. I absolutely love this. I just think the color combination is great for this. This is a Kaleidos lip clay. It is the shade Dune, I believe. Yes, it is the shade Dune. And these are so comfortable. This was another release that I really surprisingly enjoyed by them. And it's such a great matte lipstick formula. It's soft. It just feels kind of like maybe a little silicone-y at first, but it dries really nice. I put a little bit of the Kaleidos lip mask down first, so it's not going to be super non-transferable, but that's it, y'all. Thank you so much for taking out some of your time and hanging out with me for another day of Frizmas. I just had to create something different and special, and I think this is different and special, and I really enjoy it. So I hope this was therapy for you. It always is for me. And until I see you again, make sure you are being gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself nice. Stay safe, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.